Welcome to my planet. Did you say live? You said live. Okay, well, there's no recovering from that. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back. It is No Sugar No Cream Podcast, and we are once again live. Coming at you live on Facebook, and then bounced around to different podcasts. We just end up everywhere. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty neato, cruspito. But yeah, we are live, guys. I'm Seth. This is Tim. And we are back. We are back in the same place on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Not a Wednesday or a Thursday. We are here.
We are here.
We are here with gobs amount of energy. Gobs amount of energy. Yeah, I'm recovering from traveling. What was the joke? Need a vacation for my vacation, but yeah, I was feeling. Got in Saturday, and I was feeling pretty. And Monday carried over to Monday a little bit, and then the TV wasn't working, and that was a bummer. And but I'm glad to be home. It was great to see you, and I'm still alive after Tim scared the crap out of me last night. Tim did the best scare ever. I'm impressed. I don't know if I'll be able to duplicate it last night. I thought he was upstairs in here, and he just slowly peeked around the corner, and I'm like, ah! He was like, that was me. I was like, no, that was amazing. That was perfect. I think if he would have jumped out, I would have been scared, but you just slowly peeking out and scared the crap out of me. With your big smile on your face. Oh my goodness. Tim.
This looks crooked.
It might be. It's but it's definitely on. Or not. Put your comment below. Tell us what you think. Is it on or not?
It's on, but at a very low rate.
Or it might be super bright. Give us your opinion, please. We need interaction. Please, we need guys. Just please comment 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, 6.
We make it up to 100. I'll give that person $100. I will happily do that because we will not make it to 100. But you know, we're getting some watches. We're doing all right. We're going little by little. You know,
little by little,
baby steps. Tim, how have you been, man? How was the last couple of weeks, man? Anything? Did I miss anything?
No, just put my head down, trying to work on music and recording and things like that. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, so saw some of your posts and stuff, and I'm probably behind on some of that stuff, but thankfully internet keep on contact with business and such, and it's nice to still keep in contact with the world. But then again, it wouldn't be nice to completely disconnect. But had a good time on the trip. Got to see the pigs swim in for the first time. That's something I've always seen online. The swim with the pigs.
Swim with the pigs. Are they wild pigs or
these are tame? So the original spot, those are. I asked him about it, and it's like 80 miles from there. It's an island that's 80 miles from there, and there's he was telling me there's 3 tame places. They basically learned from that spot, like, hey, people like to go swim with pigs, and it's easy to feed them, and you just feed them on this little stick, and the food, poke the food, just, and it's super simple, and they're just swimming around everywhere, and cute as butt. We got to hold a pig, and it was really cool. But yeah, so to finish what I was saying, the original place, those are wild pigs, and I guess you can go there. And I think they probably still charge you to take you there, but that's probably you could just pull up a boat and go there if they're wild. I think it's like on like a reserve maybe or something. I don't know the details, but the place we were at were owned pigs, and they kind of even train them to be in the water because usually I don't think pigs are much of swimmers or I don't think that's a super thing they do.
I don't know.
That I know, but it's
it's
cute.
Growing up,
cute.
We had cattle and we had sheep, but we didn't have pigs. My dad had a strong. He would talk about pig farmers quite negatively.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. He's just a pig farmer.
Oh, no.
So, now it's all anybody who raises. In fact, I looked into it. They have these barns that you can get into it, and because pig's life, it doesn't take very long to get a pig to ready for market. So it's much longer period of time than from the time they're born, from the time they're fully grown and ready to go to market, versus a cow.
Yeah. Okay.
Versus a calf is born, and it'll take you probably at least a year before that is ready for market.
I wonder.
Well, yeah, probably about a year roughly.
Feeding the pig may be simpler too than having to graze everywhere, because you kind of slop and like feed or whatever. And
yeah, I suppose.
Maybe. I don't know.
Feeding the cows, the fat cattle. I mean, my dad would raise we had cattle, and we would go cow, calf. So there's normally 3 steps in cattle operation, and cattle farmers are very happy right now because beef prices are at the all-time high. So no cattle farmers complaining about prices right now because they're making money. But the thing about it is, it takes a long time for you to build up a herd. You just can't say, because the reason prices are high is a shortage and of cattle that give birth, and they can only one a year. One calf, but rarely you'll have twins, but generally one cow produces one calf.
Pig has like a whole litter.
Yeah, pig has a whole litter, and they do it in I think 3 months.
Oh wow!
Every 3 months from the pig is born. Well, I don't know the gestation period. That'd be something we need to look up. How long does a pig is pregnant? Look that up, and then from the time they're born till they're ready for market, it's much shorter time span, and so. You have much bigger numbers if you're doing pigs. We apologize for those of you.
Right on, Jim. About 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days.
Gestation period from the time they have sex until the time they give birth.
Gestation.
Yeah, and a cow is I think 9.5 months. I think just over 9 months. I think I could be wrong on that.
I'll check that out. Isn't it even for human? Isn't it over 9 months that we kind of just say 9 months, but it's closer to 10? Technically, am I right?
Answer that for me, please, if you can.
Sure enough, the cow, 8.5. No, wait, that's feet. Wait, this is what my bad. Cow. My bad.
Feet.
283 days. Yeah, no. Yep, 9 months. You're correct. And then. Oh, because
how many days? 283 days.
8.5 weeks.
How many days? So 9 months would be 270. Yeah, it's 9.5 months. If it's 283, it's 9.5. That's what my memory tells me. 9.5 months.
279 to 292. And the exact number they're giving is 283.
283. That would be 270. So my number that I had in my head was 9.5 months is correct. And since I grew up raising cattle, I remember talking to humans about it, and I, talking about the gestation period, and I would say 9.5 months because I'd always been around cattle. And no, it's 9 months. 9 months for humans. So
it's just going to be funny if it is exactly 9.5 months for humans. So let's see.
I believe it's 9 for humans. Yeah, so
280 days.
Okay, so right about the same. 9.5 months. 270. 9 times 3 would be 270. 9 times 30, average 30 days a month, but it's not exactly right. There's 30, 31. So
if anybody was trying to correct you about humans being, it's really 9.5 months. Yeah. I was thinking, I haven't heard that before. Interesting. Wow. So pigs. Wow. That's Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
so you
pretty
can
good money. And
produce
I
if
feel like
you if
bacon
you're
is
trying to you can
pretty
make
good price too.
you can make a lot of money with pigs, but I mean, what's the average litter? 10 maybe to 8 to 10.
I think so.
And so you had three times. So compare cows to pigs. You have 3 times the litters per year, roughly. Now, I mean, I suppose, I mean, how many you can't expect a female pig to get pregnant the day after she gives birth. Probably that's a little bit too expectation. So in order for it to be 3 full pregnancies, 3 full births in a year, you'd have to get, there'd be no time from the time you get birth until the time you got pregnant.
Wouldn't it crazy to say they could do probably 5 pregnancies in 2 years?
I think so.
Probably
Got to be,
because I was thinking easily 2, and then for
maybe 2.5,
2 for 1 year.
So you get, let's say 2.5, let's say round numbers 2.5, and maybe a litter is 10, so you get 25 offspring versus the average cow is 1. I mean, twins are very rare, or at least they were when we had cattle. I don't know, things change. I mean, it's been a long time since I've been involved with cattle. Maybe now they have multiple births more often, but the multiple births were always problematic.
8 to 14 piglets.
Yeah, 10 was the round number that I had. So actually, a little more
spot on is the average. 10, like you said. Tim's, as you can see, Tim is a retired farmer.
No, it's just the look on your face. You got the scholarly look on your face. Yeah, 10 is the average number.
No, this is like I'm impressed, but of course, like, no, he used to be a farmer and he knows these things, people.
I actually, so before I was probably 12 years old, 11, 12 years old. And Dad they called them exotic breeds. And the traditional breeds were Hereford, which are the red with the white face, and Angus, which are all black. Hereford and Angus were the standard traditional herds. But Dad got excited about they called them exotics. Suddenly they were all the rage. And Limousine was one of them. Another one was Charlet. And there were others, but those are the main 2 that stick in my head. And my dad picked the Charlet. Now, Charlet are white and French. Charlet is a French word. And they're big. And so if you're getting paid by the pound, which you are, you get more money because they grow fast and they get big. I mean, a Charlet bull could be 50% bigger than an Angus bull. The Hereford could get bigger, a little rangier, but Angus were a little short and stocky. And so a Charlet could be a big animal. And if they got in a fight, the Angus would probably give up pretty quickly. The Angus bull. Anyway, so Dad got into the Charlet. The drawback was they were kind of wild. They could take you. That was a term we use. If they charged you, that was taking you. That's what we would call it. Mm-hmm. And so if you would know the personalities of the different animals and not expose yourself. The cows were usually pretty docile until they had a calf.
Did the grandpa name some of them?
I don't think he did. I don't remember him naming them, but the bulls, I remember the big Charlet bull, the first big one we got, would come up to Dad and Dad would rub his head, and because they would often rub their head. I guess they would rub their head against the posts and things. I guess they would scratch their head. I don't know why, but bulls would often do that. And so if you want to get better genetics, you do artificial insemination. And so we went to school. It was a 3-day school about how to artificially inseminate cows. And what you do is and we got to practice at the local packing plant at cows, because sometimes cows they're going to go for slaughter anyway. So we were allowed to go in and practice on these cows. And what you do is you put on a long, it's kind of disgusting, so you may want to tune off for now, but you put a long plastic glove on
numbers are increasing
on your left hand, and you insert your left hand inside their anus, and you reach inside their intestine. And some of these cows were so big. I mean, I was this deep into them before I could got to their cervix, and their cervix on an adult cow, not a heifer, but an adult cow, is hard. It's about 4 or 5 inches long, and about 3-4 inches in diameter. And you have this pipette on your right hand.
You can tell right away though when you touched it.
Oh yeah, it's the only hard thing in there.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's you reach in and you reach through the intestine material and you grab that cervix. So now you're in the intestine. You're not in the reproductive cavity, but you're reaching. It's all pliable material, right? So, and you grab the cervix and you turn it like this inside the cow.
Wow.
And you have this long plastic pipette. This plastic, it's just a little tube, and the semen was kept in liquid nitrogen, so you had to have this tank to keep it frozen. And then this little vial, you'd pull the vial out, and you'd open the lid, and the smoke would come out because it was frozen, and you'd pull the lid out. Or pull the little unit out. It's a little tiny glass unit, and then you'd break it, and you would stick your syringe in, or the pipette into there, and you draw it with a syringe at the end of the pipette, and so you'd have it at the ready in your right hand, and then you'd go into the cow.
Okay.
Look at your face. Okay. Look at your face, and then you go in the cow, and with your right hand, you insert that pipette.
I'm trying to decide if I want to visualize it or not.
you insert your pipette in there until it reaches the cervix, and then you have to work it through the cervix because you want to insert your semen inside the cervix because that has the highest, because you don't have the volumes. A bull is going to have a huge amount, and you have a very small amount. So you want to make sure that it gets through the cervix right close to the fallopian tubes, the 2 tubes, just like a human has, and you don't know which one is elevating at the time, but you don't want to go too far, because if you insert it into one of the fallopian tubes and you happen to get the wrong one, you have 50% chance, because cows and humans alternate between each side. So one side only becomes fertile every other month.
My first thoughts, Tim.
And so you would let me finish.
Yeah.
So you would inject this. And then once you got it through the cervix, you'd have to work it through the cervix like a puzzle. Try to get this plastic thing worked through this. And the cervix had, I don't know, it wasn't a clear shot. You had to kind of work it to get it through.
Mm-hmm.
And finally you'd get it through, and then you'd feel it with your thumb. Okay, it's through now, but not too far, just on the inside, because you don't want to go too far because you might go in the wrong fallopian tube. And then with your other hand outside the cow, you do the syringe. This is nice. Nobody's going to want to hear this podcast. And you insert the cow. And so I'm 12 years old, and I look back at that. What was my dad thinking? This is a very complex thing, very expensive. Why didn't he do it? Why did he have me do it? I'm just a kid. But the proof is in the pudding. My rate of the cows that I bred, artificial insemination, I think it was 91% take.
Goodness gracious.
That is an amazing take.
Ladies and gentlemen, there we go.
But we only did it 1 year.
Then
after that, well, your mom had to take part because we had to know which cows we're going to inseminate when they're in heat. And so twice a day, in the morning and the afternoon, we'd have to get them into the corral. They're in the pasture. We'd have to chase them in the corral. And then she would have to sit on the fence of the corral and watch to see which ones, because they're always riding each other. And there's no bulls there because you don't want them to get inseminated. But the cows will ride each other, get on top of each other as if they're breeding each other. Lesbian sex, I don't know. But the ones that weren't in heat would not stand still. But if the cow stood still when the other cow got on them, then they're coming into heat, and then we would breed them that night.
Put your glove on, get the syringe ready.
But 12 hours later.
Put it way up in there.
Yeah, we put it way up in there. Yeah.
I just have one question. I and this might be a little out there, but I'm I'm not. How does a bull do that if it doesn't have fingers? I don't think a bull could do that very well.
Well, a bull has volume, and what a bull releases in there is a huge amount of volume.
But I just don't see the bull putting its finger down there and finding it and turning it over. And
did you not listen?
yeah, I did. You put it.
My hand was in the anus.
Yeah.
And I'm reaching, but right below the anus is the reproductive,
Oh, he does it. He doesn't need to use his leg. He has his.
So he goes in the vagina of the bull.
I know. I really, that would have been perfect setup if I said it right after as you were done. I was like, how does a bull do this?
So the bull floods the area with a lot of liquid.
Could have been a funny clip, but I just didn't do a very good job, Bosh. How does a bull do it? Yeah. He doesn't even have fingers.
And I even did some of the heifers. I even did some heifers. Now heifers, the heifers, their cervix is very pliable, not hard. They haven't been pregnant yet, a heifer. And so I bred some of the heifers, artificial.
So I always tell the girls I'm dating, is your cervix pliable? My uncle said like cows' cervix.
Say
that 3 times fast.
Your cervix.
Cervix. Is it pliable?
So
it sure would help. I don't know what.
Sex education on No Sugar, No Cream. Bovine sex education. Cow sex education. And so I know they artificially inseminate horses. If you have horses, I mean, that's big money, $1 million.
Oh my gosh. Right.
If you want to race and you want to win the race and, and they want to have so that's a lot bigger money. And, maybe the stallion is not available, so they collect semen from them and then use it to inseminate cows and sell it and make money. If you had
$1,000 just for probably so much semen from.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they're still practicing that.
Definitely.
I'm sure. If you had a champion stallion,
make a lot more money doing that than winning.
Probably, yeah. If you win, and then if you're a stallion, you probably can send your, versus. I mean, the actual breeding process is kind of dangerous, I think, for horses. They're, they literally either the cow or the female horse. What's the mare? The mare is a female horse, right? The stallion is the male, and I'm quite sure they do that. But I don't know if cattle ranchers still do artificial insemination. I know they do it in dairy. Dairy is more. This is my dad. We had beef that we raised them to go to market for beef, and we didn't. It wasn't for milk. And so, with the milk cows, you have very accurate records of what each cow produces, because they know each day they milk them. Well, I guess now they milk them 3 times a day, automated. They have these huge dairy farms, like it was when I was a kid, where it was small dairy farms owned by, individual family, and they had to milk those cows twice a day. 7 days a week. You couldn't take off. Somebody had to milk those cows, because if you didn't, they would be complaining because their udders would be full. And they're like, man, you need to drain my udder. And they'd be complaining. So you have to milk them 7 days a week. Now it's automated. They have 2,000 dairy, basically, facilities, and it's all automated. And they have this humongously big, they had a bunch of dairies in South Dakota, new ones that they put up. It's this floor that rotates very slowly.
Don't we rent to a dairy farmer?
I don't know. I don't think any of our renters are dairy farmers. I don't think, but those cows need to be fed. So some people do raise feed for them, raise hay or corn or whatever. Anyway, so it's this humongous. I've never seen one, but I've heard of it. The cow goes in at a certain spot, and it's like You ever seen those rotating stages? Oh, well, you've probably been in a rotating restaurant, at the top of a,
once before, yeah, like at a Disney thing.
you go top of a mountain, top of a beautiful skyscraper, and there's a restaurant and it's rotating. Beautiful view of the city. Kind of the same principle, except for cows. And they go in at one spot and they get into their spot and they look forward to it. They like it because they get food while they're there and they get relief from their full udder. And as they go around, the machines are on them milking them, and they go around. When they get the other end, they're done being milked, and there's somebody there to unharness them and take the equipment off of them and let them out. So it just rotates like that, and that's how they milk them. And now they milk them 3 times a day. I've heard it used to be twice a day. Now I've heard it's 3 times a day. Goodness. So the cows line up for it. They come, okay, I know it's time. I get to be, it's time to eat or whatever, maybe whatever entices them, that they line up for it. You don't even have to go bring them. And they all, I think, kind of know their spot, I guess.
This was in 2020. Back to thoroughbred horse semen is the world's most expensive liquid.
How much per shot, or how much did they put in? It was by the CC. I think it was.
My phone just yelled at me.
Your phone just humored you?
Yelled at me. Or started talking. Let me see.
I wonder, if you win the Kentucky Derby or Preakness or one of those big races, then suddenly your horse is worth a lot of money and can be used for breeding, I'm going to guess. So, yeah, the whole horse racing field area, interesting. It's got its own personality. I haven't been to a horse race in a while.
Yeah, we went to Dale and I went to the one in Australia. That was our first time going to a horse race. And
really, your first time?
Yeah, which is so funny because we grew up in a town where there was a horse track.
You did.
And
why did you never go?
Well, the whole betting thing, and then nobody was really into it. Like,
and you, I feel I'm still carrying a grudge against you. Because I came and visited you so many times. And it was only last year that I found out that it has one of the bigger horse racings right there.
Oh, right.
And I only found that out
myself. Yeah.
You didn't even know it?
Well,
no, you knew it.
I didn't know how big it was, or I've never been to it myself. Like we
still haven't been,
once I was old enough, but like, I mean, everybody.
Hot Springs, Arkansas. By the way,
I mean, the boys, the children's home was probably the Sims that got everything, and they were shine. They didn't shine good on betting, and I mean that's one of the biggest things you do there is bet on horses.
Yeah,
which we didn't even get to bet on the horses. When
your dad was a pastor. He's not going to let Sims have got pastor. I mean, even if he did, if he personally didn't have a problem with it, and I don't know what he says about it, but what if somebody in the church saw him there?
Yeah,
then the first question I would ask, what were you doing there?
What were you doing? I was robbing.
How did you see me there?
I was. Yeah, how did you see me there?
They asked me to give the invocation to pray for the horses before they race. Maybe they do that. I don't know. I'm just being silly. Yeah. So your dad wouldn't have gone to the horse races.
Yeah. So, I think I got invited once through somebody that was a chaplain there or something, but I just never got around to going. But yeah, finally getting to go was exhilarating because we were right there, catacorner, like really close to the finish line.
You're talking about Australia.
Australia, yeah. Which we were there for the biggest race there. It was like 2 or 3 days. And it was so hot though too. It was.
So how many races did you see? How many days did you go?
We just went to one day. So we saw a small handful. And then it would have been nice to have some seats somewhere. We just kind of were out and about, so we didn't really know. And then the lines were so for drinks and food was just so long. I mean, it was crazy packed, and people were dressed up so nice. It was really nice. It was really cool.
That's one of the things about going to the horse. Yeah, people dress up nice.
Lots of beautiful women, guys dressed up to the nines. It was really cool. but I would love to go again. I would love to experience more. Oh, yeah, we talked about
We
going to
should
a horse race.
Kentucky Derby just up
So,
the road.
Yeah.
Louisville, 3 hours away.
Next time we visit Hot Springs, we should make sure it's timed with a horse race. He's like, all right, guys, we'll come visit you during this time period. Our favorite hotel might be a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, the Arlington Resort.
But
beautiful hot springs. We love that place.
Yeah, we
stayed there a couple times.
Won't be that
No,
bad.
I've stayed there 3 times now.
Yeah, loved it. It's I love it.
Take you back in time.
Nice pool and hot tub. The history. This last time we went, I was like, "Oh, come over here, Tim. There's a whole history little area."
Yeah,
that's pretty neat.
It's you go into a hotel. In fact, I was in a hotel a few years ago, and the guy was saying, "I'm sorry, we haven't upgraded. We still have the key, the plastic key, because now all hotels, if they're modern, they have the like the QR code scanner." Where you hold it up against. You don't put it in the slot. You hold it up against, and I'm sure there's terminology for that. He was embarrassed that they still had the key, the one that you would stick in like a credit card.
Oh.
And what I'm getting up to. Arlington, it's still an actual brass key.
Yeah, they can't put it into a computer and print out another one. They got to call the key guy.
So Arlington Hotel, it's still the old-fashioned brass key. I mean, when did they start changing over to the plastic credit card thing in the slot? 20, 30 years ago, maybe?
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
Maybe
in the
more.
90s, maybe.
I would say even more. So they're really, they're just hanging on to that old school way of doing it. And it's part of the charm. Arlington Hotel and Resort.
For sure.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Thank you. Thank you, Hot Springs, Arkansas National Park. Which I don't know if I mentioned it. There's Mountain Valley Water, which I grew up with. People, their parents were like on the board and like, I don't know, the part owners or just worked for the company, but made good money working for Mountain Valley. And Mountain Valley has won some awards now, and where caught the eyes of some celebrities. And you watch a lot of podcasts nowadays, and you see the nice green glass bottle of Mountain Valley water. That's from Hot Springs, where I grew up. It's pretty cool. I was like, I need to get some here and be bougie, but it's extra cool because I grew up with that. Like,
you need to get a bottle and put it here, make it added to our stash, on camera stash.
So they're always have it in like a nice bougie bottle, and it's good water. It's very good water. It's straight from it comes right out of the ground, comes out of the boiling hot. So it must like get close to lava or something. It's kind of interesting. Now, what's wild though is too the main spot, like, okay, where we were, right across the street is a crazy waterfall that used to be, and now the water just trickles down it. So that spot has really kind of dried up in a way. But there's a number of other, there's other spots, like, so you can still get water free as much as you want there. So the crazy part is they get that water, like, probably hardly do anything. They probably don't do nothing. There's nothing you need to do to it. It's good just coming out of the ground, and bottle it up and sell it. In fact, I know that the plant does at least like for 3 different companies. Like, we'll just bottle the same water and have it for other companies. But the good stuff is Mountain Valley Water, is their brand. But probably one of the biggest sellers is water when it comes to, like, which is so funny. Like, man, with what in the 90s we would have been like, well, that was in the 90s. I grew up in the 90s. Like, they were probably that was probably thought of a funny thing, bottling that, like, you're bottling water, and now that's more popular than anything is bottling water. But okay, that's my water. That's my water spill for today, guys. If you want any other characters, that's my water guy. I like the water. My one friend, she's not doing. She's a little sick from, she smokes. Can't remember that character's name. So that's how good I am at that. Deborah. Deborah's a little under the weather. She says it's not from smoking.
Walter
She
Whitman.
said it's arthritis. Well, go to Walter Whitman. I guess I can't remember. Was that the Walter Whitman? What was the character? I can't remember how I did that character. Walter Whitman. Yes, it's coming back to me. I'm Walter Whitman. As you can see, I've never been hired for any job whatsoever. Please do not judge me. I have the memory of a small rodent. A small dead rodent. But today in the news, we will speak of the rain last night. The electricity went out, and it's very interesting. I'm so used to my fan going. It did not take very long for it to start warming up in my room, like with the fan off. But I was like, I felt good. And it came back on, but it went out twice last night.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. And I was watching a show too, but then afterwards I went to sleep. You know what's one of my most favorite things to do is sleep it puts me to sleep. I love to sleep during a nice storm when you can hear it too. And you can't, for the most part, unless the water's coming directly. I hear the thunder more than anything, but I don't really hear. You probably don't hear hardly anything in your room. The rain, of course, if you're asleep. You hear the rain, okay? I don't know.
How much time we got? Can we close this one down?
I think Tim has somewhere to be. Do you have somewhere to be, Tim? Is there something you would like to share with the group?
Nothing.
Are you not enjoying yourself? Would you like to put some sugar and cream into the podcast? I'm just kidding. No, we're right. We're doing it. We're great. Guys, thank you for listening to the podcast. Tim just has somewhere important to go. He's flying over to Fallujah. I have no where that is. I'm not even sure if that's really a country. But guys, we appreciate you as always for watching the podcast. We are back in person. I'm not planning on going anywhere anytime soon. Tim might be. Tim is a busy man. He has important things he has to do. He charges me $1,000 by the hour for time well spent, and I owe him $29,000 right now. Guys, I just told an inside joke. People are like, what? It doesn't make any sense. Why is he? It makes sense in my head, and which a lot of things don't make sense in my head. Guys, please, if you're on Facebook, share the podcast, tell your friend, put a little comment down below. Feel free to make any comment. That is nice. Don't hurt our feelings. We are fragile people. And we will see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching the podcast. No sugar, no cream. Out. Bye. No, seriously, guys. That's the end of the podcast. Why are you still here? I said bye. I